It's after 12 and I'm eating lunch and gazing at the garden when Ushima comes out and sits next to me. Today pretty much have the library to myself. As always, my lunch is the cheapest box lunch from the little shop at the train station. We took talk for a while and Oshima urges half-fish sandwiches on me. I made extra today just for you, he insists. Insists. Don't take it the wrong way, but you look as if you're not eating. I'm trying to make my stomach shrink, I explain. On purpose? He asks. I nod. You're doing that to save money? Again, I nod. I can understand that, but at your age, you need to fill up whenever you get the chance. You need your nutrition. The sandwich he's offering me looks delicious. I thank him and start eating. Smoked salmon, watercress, and lettuce on soft white bread. The crust is nicely crunchy, and horseradish and butter complete the sandwich. Did you make this yourself? I ask. No one's going to make it for me, he says. He pours black coffee from his thermos into a mug while I drink milk from a small carton. What are you reading these days? Natsume Soseki's complete works, I say. I still haven't read some of his novels, so this is a great chance to read them all. You like him enough to want to read everything he wrote? Oshima asks. I nod. Steam is rising from the cup in his hand. It's dark and cloudy outside, but at least the rain has stopped. Which of his novels have you read since you came here? I finished The Miner and now I'm on Puppies. The Miner? Eh. Oshima says, apparently searching out a vague memory of the book. There's the story of a college student from Tokyo who ends up working in a mine, isn't it? And he goes through all this tough times with the other miners before running to the world outside. A sort of medium-length novel, as I recall. I read it a long time ago. The plot isn't what you normally expect from Soseki, and the style's kind of unpolished too. Not one of his best. What do you like about it? I try putting into my words my impressions of the novel, but I need Crow's help. Need him to appear from wherever he is, spread his wings wide, and search out the right words for me. The main character is from a rich family, I say, but he has an affair that goes sour and he gets depressed and runs away from home. While he's wandering around, this shady character comes up to him and asks him to work in a mine. And he just tags along after him and finds himself working in the Ashio mine. He's way down underground, going through all kinds of experiences he never could have imagined. This innocent rich boy finds himself crawling around in the dregs of society. I sip my milk and try to piece together the rest of what I want to say. It takes a while before Crow comes back, but Oshima waits patiently. Those are life and death type experiences he goes through in the mines. Eventually, he gets out and goes back to his old life, but nothing in the novel shows he learned anything from these experiences, that his life changed, that he thought deeply now about the meaning of life, or started questioning society or anything else. You don't get any sense either that he is mature. You have a strange feeling after you finish the book. It's as if you wonder, what is Soseki trying to say? It's as if not really knowing what he is getting at is the part that stays with you. I can explain it very well. So the manner has structured very differently from, say, Suzuki's Sanshiro, the typical modern Bildungsroman. I know. I don't know about that, but you might be alright. Shanshiro grows up in the story, runs into obstacles, ponders things, overcomes difficulties, right? But the hero of the minor is different. All he does is watch things happen and accept it all. Every now and again he gives his own opinions, but nothing very deep. Instead, he just broods over his love affair. He comes out of the mind pretty much the same as when he went in. He has no sense that it was something he decided to do himself or that he had a choice. He's totally passive. But I think in real life people are like that. It's not so easy to make choices on your own. Do you see yourself as like the hero of the minor? I shake my head. No, I never thought of it that way. But people need to cling to something, Oshima says. They have to. You are doing the same, even though you don't realize it. It says, Goethe said, everything's a metaphor. I mull this over for a while. Oshima takes a sip of coffee. At any rate, that's an interesting take on the main minor, particularly since we're both runaways. Makes me want to read it again. I finish the sandwich, crash the now empty milk carton, and toss it in the rubbish bin. Oshima, I say, deciding to come right out with it. I'm in a bit of a fix, and you are the only one I can ask for advice. He opens both hands wide with a go right ahead gesture. It's a long story, but I don't have anywhere to stay tonight. I've got a sleeping bag, so I don't need a futon or bed or anything, just a roof over my head. Do you know of any place around here like that? I'm guessing that you are not thinking of a hotel or inn. I shake my head. Money is a factor, but I'm also hoping not to be too conspicuous to the juvenile department of the police, I bet. Yeah. Usha thinks it over for a time and says, well, you could stay here. The library? Sure, it has a roof and a vacant room too that nobody uses at night. But do you think it's alright? Of course, we'll have to make some arrangements first, but it is possible, or not impossible, I should say. I'm sure I can manage it. How so? You like to read good books, to work things out on your own. You look like you're in good shape physical and you're an independent kind of guy. You like to lead a well-regulated life and have a lot of willpower. Even the willpower to make your stomach smaller, right? I'll talk with Miss Seiki about you becoming my assistant and staying in the empty room here at the library. You want me to be your assistant? You don't have to do much, Oshima says. Basically, help me open and close the place. We hire professionals to do the heavy cleaning or to input things on the computer. Apart from that, there's not a whole lot to do. You can just read whatever you like. Sound good? Yeah, of course it does. I'm not sure what to say, but I don't think Miss Seki is going to go for it. I'm only 15 and a runaway, which she doesn't know anything about. But Miss Seki is, how should I put it? Ushma begins, then uncharacteristically comes to a halt, searching for the right word. A little different? Different? She has a different take on things from other people. I know, a different take on things. What does that mean? You mean she is an unusual person? Oshima shakes his head. No, I wouldn't say that. If you were talking about unusual, that would be me. She just isn't bound by conventional ways of doing things. I'm still trying to figure out the difference between different and unusual, but decide to hold off asking any more questions for the time being. After a pause, Oshima says, staying here tonight though is a problem, so I'll take you someplace else where you can stay for a couple of days till you get things settled. You don't mind, do you? It's a little far away. No problem, I tell him. The library closes at 5, Oshima says, and I have to straighten things up, so we'll leave around 5:30. I'll drive you there in my car. Nobody's staying there now, and not to worry, the place has a roof. I appreciate it. You can thank me after we get there. It might not be what you were imagining. I go back to the reading room and pick up where I left off in Poppies. I'm not a fast reader to begin with. I like to linger over each sentence, enjoying the style. If I don't enjoy the writing, I stop. Just before 5, I finish the novel, put it back on the shelf, and sit back on the sofa. Close my eyes and think about what happened last night. about Sakura, about her room, what she did to me, all the twists and turns as events took their course. At 5:30, I'm standing outside the library waiting for Oshima. He leads me to the car park behind the library and we get into his green sports car. A Mazda Miata with the top down. My back was too big for the little boot, so we tie it down tight on the rear rack. It's a long drive, so we'll stop along the way for dinner. Oshima says. He turns the ignition key and stirs up the engine. Where are we headed? Coach, he replies. Ever been there? I shake my head. How far is it? It'll take us about 2.5 hours to get where we are going, towards the south over the mountains. You don't mind going so far? It's okay, it's a straight run and it's still light out, and I've got a full tank. We drive through the twilight city streets, then join the highway heading west. Oshima changes lanes as smoothly, slipping in between other cars, effortlessly shifting gears each time the hum of the engine changes slightly when he shifts gears and floors it. The little car soon jipping along at more than 90. The car is specially tuned, so it's got a lot of pickup. This isn't your ordinary Miata. Do you know much about cars? I shake my head. Cars are definitely not my specialty. Do you enjoy driving? I ask. The doctor made me give up all risky sports, so instead I drive. Compensation? Is something wrong with you? The medical name is pretty long, but it's a type of hemophilia, Oshima says casually. Do you know what that is? I think so, I say. I learned about it in biology class. Once you start bleeding, you can stop. It's genetic, but the blood doesn't coagulate. That's right. There's all kinds of hemophilia, and the type I have is pretty rare. It's not such a bad type of the disease, but I have to be careful not to get injured. Once I start bleeding, I have to go to the hospital. Besides, these days there are problems with the blood supply in hospitals. Dying a slow death from AIDS isn't an option for me, so I made some connections in town to supply me with safe blood, just in case. Because of my disease, I don't go on long journeys, except for regular checkups at the university hospital in Hiroshima. I rarely leave town. It's not so bad, though. I never did like traveling or sports all that much anyway. I can't use a kitchen knife, so doing my any real cooking is out, which is a shame. Driving is a risky enough sport, I tell him. It's a different kind of risk. Whenever I drive, I try to go as fast as I can. If I'm in an accident driving fast, I won't only end up getting a cut finger. If I lose a lot of blood, there's no difference between a hemophiliac and anybody else. It evens things out since your chances of survival are the same. You don't have to worry about things like blood coagulation or anything. You can die without any regrets. I see. Don't worry, Yoshima laughs. I'm not going to have an accident. I'm a careful driver and don't push it. I keep my car in tip top condition too. Besides, when I die, I want to die peacefully, all by myself. Taking someone else with you then isn't an option either. Got it on me? Got it in one. We pull into a restaurant for dinner. I have chicken and the salad. He orders the seafood curry and the salad. Just something to fill our stomachs is the best you could say about it. Oshima pays the bill and we climb into the car again. It's already dark. He steps on the accelerator and the speedometer shoots the wheel. Do you mind if I put on some music? Oshima asks. Of course not, I reply. He pushes the CD play button and some classical piano music starts. I'll stand for a while trying to place the music, and it's not Beethoven and not Schumann, probably somebody who came in between. Schubert. I ask. Good guess, he replies. His hands at 10 or 2 on the steering wheel. He glances over at me. Do you like Schubert? Not especially, I told him. When I drive, I like to listen to Schubert's piano sonatas with the volume turned up. Do you know why? I have no idea. Because playing Schubert's piano sonatas well is one of the hardest things in the world. Most of all, this sonata in D major. It's a tough piece to master. Some pianists can play one or maybe two of the movements perfectly, but if you listen to all four movements as a unified whole, no one has ever nailed it. A lot of famous pianists have risen to the challenge, but it's as if there's always something missing. There's never one where you can say, yes, he has got it. Do you know why? No, I replied, because the sonata itself is imperfect. Robert Schumann understood Schubert's sonatas well, and he labeled this one heavenly tedious. If the composition's imperfect, why would so many pianists try to master it? Good question, Oshima says, and pauses as music fills in the silence. I have no good explanation for it, but one thing I can say, works that have a certain imperfection to them have an appeal for that very reason, or at least they appeal to certain types of people. Just like you're attracted to Suzuki's The Miner, there's something in it that draws you in more than more fully realized novels like Kokoro or Shanshiro. You discover something about that work that tugs at your heart, or maybe we should say that the work discovers it. Schubert's sonata in D major is like that. It discovers you. To get back to the question, I say, why do you listen to Schubert's sonatas, particularly when you are driving? If you play Schubert's sonatas, especially this one, straight through, it's not art. As Kuman pointed out, it's too long and too pastoral and technically too simplistic. Played through the way it is, and it's flat and tasteless, some dusty antique, which is why every pianist who attempts it adds something of his own, something extra. Like this, here how he articulates it here, adding rubato, adjusting the pace, modulation, whatever. Otherwise, they can't hold it all together. They have to be careful though, or else all the Strad devices destroy the dignity of the piece. And then it's not Schubert's music anymore. Every single pianist who has played this D major sonata struggles with the same paradox. He listens to the music, humming the melody, then continues. That's why I like to listen to Schubert while I'm driving. As I said, it's because all the performances are imperfect, a dense artistic imperfection stimulates your consciousness, keeps you alert. If I listen to some utterly perfect performance of an utterly perfect piece while I'm driving, I might want to close my eyes and die right then and there. But listening to the D major, I can feel the limits of what humans are capable of. That a certain type of perfection can only be realized through a limitless accumulation of the imperfect. And personally, I find that encouraging. Do you see what I'm getting at? Ah, sort of. I'm sorry, Oshima says. I tend to get carried away on this subject. But there's all sorts and degrees of imperfection, right? I say. Sure, of course. Comparatively speaking, which performance of the D major sonata do you think's the best? That's a tough one. Oshima gives it some thought. He shoots down, swings into the outside lane, slips swiftly past a huge refrigerated 18-wheeler, shoots up and steers back into our lane. Not to frighten you, but a green Miata is one of the hardest vehicles to spot on the highway at night. It has such a low profile, plus the green tends to blend into the darkness. Lorry drivers especially can see it from up in their cabs. It can be a risky business, particularly in tunnels. Sports cars really should all be red, then they had to stand out. That's why most Ferraris are red, but I happen to like green, even if it makes things more dangerous. Green is the color of a forest, red is the color of blood. He glances at his watch and goes back to humming along with the music. Generally, I'd have to say Brendel and Ashkenazi give the best performances, though they didn't do anything for me emotionally. Schubert's is music that challenges and shatters the ways of the world. There's the sense of romanticism, and Schubert's music is the epitome of the romantic. So, what Schubert's music does is Schubert's music that is the music that challenges and shatters the ways of the world. There's the sense of romanticism, challenges and shatters the ways of the world. So Scuba's music is the epitome of the romantic. I keep on listening to the sonata. What do you think? Boring? He asks. Kind of, I admit. You can appreciate scuba if you train yourself. I was the same way when I first listened to him. It bored me silly. It's only natural for someone your age. You'll appreciate it in time. People soon get tired of things that aren't boring. But not of what is boring. What's that all about? For me, I might have the leisure to be bored, but not to grow tired of something. Most people can distinguish between the two. You said you're an unusual person. Do you mean because of the hemophilia? That's part of it, he says and gives this devilish smile. There is more to it than that. Scuba's long heavenly surrender finishes, and we don't listen to any more music. We fall silent, each of us filling in the silence with our own random thoughts. I gazed vacantly at the passing signs. At a junction we turned south and the road heads into the mountains, one long tunnel after another. Ushima concentrates her each time he passes another vehicle. We go by a number of slow-moving lorries on the road, and every time there's this whooshing moan of fear as though somebody's soul is being yanked out. From time to time, I look back to make sure my backpack's still tied down. Okay. The place we're headed is deep in the mountains, not the most pleasant dwelling in the world. Oshima says, I doubt you will see anybody else while you are there. There is no radio, TV, or phone. Sure you don't mind? I don't, I reply. We're used to being alone. Oshima comments, I know. But solitude comes in different varieties. Waiting for you might be a little unexpected. In what way? Oshima pushes up the bridge of his glasses. I can really say it might change depending on you. We get off the highway and start down a smaller road. Along a side road near the exit, there is a small town. Oshima stops at a small shop and buys almost more groceries than we can carry. Vegetables and fruit, biscuits, milk and mineral water, tin goods, bread, packet, instant food, mostly things that don't require much cooking. I reach for my wallet, but he shakes his head and pays for it all. Back in the sports car, we drive on down the road. I'm holding the bags that wouldn't fit into the boot. Once we leave the little town, everything is dark around us. No houses, only the occasional car. The road so narrow it's hard for two cars to pass by each other. Ushma flips the lights to full beam and races ahead, braking, accelerating, shifting from second to third and back. His expression is fixed as he focuses on driving. Lips taut, eyes riveted on a point up ahead in the darkness. Right hand clutching the top of the wheel, left hand poised for action on the gear stick knob. A sharp bluff appears on our left side. It looks as though there is a mountain stream down below. The curves get sharper, the road more slippery, and a couple of times the rear end of the car spins, but I decide not to worry about it. As far as Oshima is concerned, having an accident here most likely isn't an option. My watch shows a little before 9. I crack open my window and let the cool air rush in. Everything sounds different here in the mountains. Heading in deeper, I breathe a sigh of relief when the road finally cuts away from the bluffs and turns into a forest. Trees soar magically above us. Our headlights leak at the trunks, illuminating one after another. We have left the tarmac road behind. The tires squirting out pebbles that ricocheted against the bottom of the car. The suspension dances up and down over the rough road. There's no moon, no stars. A fine rain occasionally splashes against the windscreen. Do you come here a lot? I ask. I used to. Now with the job and everything, I can come so often. My older brother is a surfer and lives on the shore in Kochi. He runs a surf shop there and makes surfboards. He comes here sometimes. Do you surf? Never tried it. I tell him. If you have the chance, you should have my brother teach you. He is very good. Oshima says. If you meet him, you'll see he's not at all like me. He's big, tanned, kind of quiet, not so sociable, and likes beer. Wouldn't know Scuba from Wagner, but we get on really well. We continue down the road through thick woods and finally turn off. Oshima stops the car and, leaving the engine running, climbs out and unlocks the kind of wire fence and pushes it open. We drive inside and proceed down another windy, bumpy road into a clearing where the road ends. Oshima stops the car, sighs heavily, and brushes his hair back with both hands, then kills the engine and puts on the handbrake. The cooling fan still hums, cooling off the overheated engine as steam rises from the hood. But when the engine off, a heavy stillness falls over us. I hear a small stream nearby, the faint sound of water. High above us, a wind rustles simple cooling. Open the door and step outside. Patches of chill hang in the air. I have on a yachting jacket over my t-shirt and zip it up to my neck. There's a small building in front of us, a log cabin. By the look of it, though it's too dark to see much, only a dark outline floating against the background of the forest, the headlights still on. Oshima slowly approaches the cabin, torch in hand, walks up the porch steps, takes out a key, and unlocks the door. He goes inside, strikes a match, and lights the lamp. He then steps out onto the porch holding the lamp and announces, "Welcome to my house." It all looks like a drawing in an old storybook. I walk up the steps and go inside. Oshima lights a larger lamp hanging from the ceiling. The cabin consists of a single big boxy room. There's a small bed in the corner, a dining table, and two wooden chairs, a tired sofa, a hopelessly faded rug. Bits of old furniture nobody wanted. It looks like just thrown together. There's a bridge block and board shelf crammed full of books. Their covers sound like they have been read a lot. There's also an old chest for storing clothes and a simple kitchen with a work surface, a small gas stove and sink, but no running water. Instead, an aluminium pail, I guess, is for water. Pan and kettle on a shelf, plus a frying pan hanging from the wall, and in the middle of the room there is a black wood burning stove. My brother built this cabin almost all by himself. He took the original rough lumberjack hut and remodeled it. He's good with his hands. I was still quite little then and helped out a bit, making sure I didn't get cut or anything. It's quite primitive, no electricity, no running water, no toilet. The only modern convenience is the propane gas. Ushima pours some mineral water into the kettle and sets it to boil. My grandfather originally owned this mountain. He was a wealthy man in Kochi with a lot of property. He passed away 10 years ago, and my brother and I inherited almost the entire mountain. Two other relatives wanted it. It's too far off the beaten track and not worth it.